Just open it. I don't need all the parts though.
Hi there, it's Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Here with Zach. Say hello, Zach.
Hey, what's up, guys?
We're just sitting around here brewing around a card. I'll bring up the card here. Chief Engineer. This card's broken. This card's broken beyond broken. I am going to go ahead and call this right now that Chief Engineer is going to see major play in Modern. And I'm just starting to scratch the surface. In fact, might be able to actually have this be a thing in even Legacy, as I'm sure there's a lot of infinite combos, and I even began to scratch the surface of what it's able to do. But a few different angles. Of course, you can go the affinity route with Beck Call as your draw engine, and of course you still need a finisher, but something like the Grape Shot could be a finisher. If you have like Crackland Ironworks, that could be a finisher, being able to sack all of your tapped artifacts that just were used to. So I'll bring up Crackland Ironworks here. This card is okay. There we go. Should crack or cark clan iron. There we go. So this can actually sacrifice the artifacts after they've been tapped, and you still do need a way to have a good draw spell. I'm sure I'm not quite thinking of it'd just be another blue artifact spell. Even like Opportunity could actually work to fill back up your hand besides Thoughtcast with Crackland Ironworks, and then eventually you could even have probably Emrakul would probably be your kill con. I'm thinking either Emrakul, or you can just go like a good old school Fireball type list. But it is really the Chief Engineer that makes this happen, because you can do a lot of turn 1 or turn 2 after you cast the Chief Engineer. And see, all our spells have Convoke, so Chief Engineer can actually add a colorless towards an artifact right off the bat. And then you can just go crazy with all of the artifact spells that then either replace themselves or draw you cards or whatnot. Or there's got to be a mana producing one. I know there is a bunch of mana producing ones actually. If you go into Legacy, you have cards like Mana Vault and things like that. And if you go into Modern, you even have even cards like Chromatic Lantern. But I'm sure there's even better, faster ones that produce more mana than that. So I'm thinking even just any of the chromatic ones, so they actually generate more mana, add 1 mana. I think there is one that adds more than 2 mana, but it has a higher casting cost. I guess we can just check out all the artifacts in Modern here and see what let's take out lands here to see if there's anything that generates. Of course, Mox Opal will go in this deck. Paradise Mantle, no. But even if they're high casting cost, with the ability to get them out with like Ornithopters and whatnot using the Convoke, it makes it that much worth it. Like anything that sacrifices for more, I swear there's cards here. Yeah, this guy adds a mana. This Mirror Moon Vessel would be pretty sweet in this deck with the Crackland Ironworks, because it would add a mana. So it would come in possibly for free if you have like Ethereum Sculptor. Come in for free. You can sacrifice a Crackland Ironworks, add 3. And again, it would have to be just things that then, a lot of these that you can sacrifice them to draw a card and whatnot. So it would take some brewing to do, but this definitely has a lot of potential. And let's see if we can get past these 1 mana casting cost. I know there's I guess like Gilded Lotus is one that adds 3. I'll just type in Gilded Lotus. So Gilded Lotus with like Crackland Ironworks, this adds 3, and then you can sacrifice it after it's been activated. And there's that whole route. And again, with double engines with Ethereal Sculptor and the Chief Engineer, I really think this is very, very possible. And again, this is what's so cool about Chief Engineer, is that you can immediately convoke it. cast an artifact spell. So you got to think of this as you have to have the initial 2. So even turn 1 with a Mox Opal, I think you could cheat this out. And again, in Legacy, it even gets more broken. I don't even want to start brewing in Legacy. But another option that I found as well is going into blue, because Convoke, you can tap any creature. So any even like Master of Waves, we can bring up Master of Waves here. Master of Waves, okay, we got to bring in the Master of Waves with Grand Architect would produce tokens that you could then actually use to convoke into another. Like this it'd be a free spell, because if you were to ramp up to Master Waves, and you can get it again with Crackle and Ironwork, sacrificing stuff, it brings in your devotion to blue, which if you're using a lot of these artifact blue spells, you can then cast more of these artifact blue spells, and then, you know, just go crazy like that. Again, it's going to be Beck Call that I believe will be the engine. And Beck Call Master Waves, that's going to draw you a ton of cards, because the cool thing that makes Beck Call a little bit better than Glimpse, I like Glimpse because it's just casting the spells that actually gets you the card. But this is whenever a creature enters the battlefield this turn, you may draw a card. So every creature that enters the battlefield actually triggers off this Beck. So with like Master of Waves, again, if you have the Grand Architect and the Master of Waves, and if you've generated mana, again, with the Crackline Ironworks, then you're going to be drawing your entire deck. So even like Laboratory Maniac could be your win condition. Or, of course, Emrakul. So I'm going to bring in Laboratory Maniac. Maniac. I always spell it wrong. Let's see Maniac here. Maniac, you draw your entire deck. Again, like just these cards that are both artifact and blue are really good, because again, this Phoenix Herald is a free spell that can then generate, which then can be sacked to the Crackline Ironworks and adds devotion for Master of Waves. I mean, and this is just scratching the surface. Literally, I mean, Zach can verify this. He just told me to check out this card. I didn't even know this card was spoiled yet. And then, boom. Just so many ideas and possibilities came into my mind, and I'm sure there's even more tuned ways in this. I mean, you can even go into just green, and then again, those artifacts that just generate a lot of mana. The green cards can convoke and bring in, and Master Waves doesn't necessarily have to be the token producer. Anything that produces a bunch of tokens, and then you can play spells like Restoration Angel that flicker it. There's got to be some nasty infinite combos with the Chief Engineer. So again, let me know in the comments what combos you've found. I mean, just 5 minutes, we've already found a lot of these combos here. Another cool thing about the Grand Architect is you can actually tap an untap blue creature to add 2 mana of your mana pool to activate abilities. And of course, then Thopter Foundry puts in a blue Thopter. So you have to sacrifice a non-token artifact. So you can't sacrifice other Thopters, but you can go crazy with this kind of Thopter Foundry as well as a little engine. So yeah, definitely let me know in the comments what combos you found with the new Chief Engineer. This has been Kevin with RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.